Hello everyone, you are on the Nevestate channel. My name is Julia Szczerbak. I am an expert in foreign real estate and residency and citizenship programs. On this channel, we tell you about real estate, both for personal acquisition and for investment. And today we will talk about a program called the Golden Visa of Greece. For this, I have invited our partner developer. Good afternoon, Alexander.
Hello, Julia.
Yes, we will specifically touch on obtaining the Greek visa specifically through an investment of 250,000 euros. Today, we will look into whether such offers still exist, under what conditions, and so on. I also want to note that this program is gaining popularity due to the recent trend that other countries, I am specifically talking about countries that are part of the European Union, either raising the threshold or closing the program, specifically the real estate option, while other investments through funds and so on remain or they are closing altogether, as recently announced about the program in Spain. Therefore, it is the most attractive precisely in the area where a visa-free Schengen is needed, and at the same time without being tied to conditions such as mandatory visits to the country and staying there for a certain number of days, meaning there are no such conditions. These are the main advantages of this program, and it can be said that there is demand for this program worldwide. Therefore, today I would like Alexandra to start our conversation by telling us a little about yourself, how you see yourself as a developer and your advantages.
Yes, we are one of the largest developers in Greece, and currently we are focusing on building apartments with an ecosystem and A+ energy efficiency. This means that in these apartments, the cost of the properties we offer under the Golden Visa program in residence, you don't just get bare walls, but these are apartments already finished with premium materials. There is also a climate control system installed, which allows for significant savings on electricity bills. We also build large hotel complexes. Last year, we signed a big contract with Hilton. We are now also building facilities for Hilton, meaning we are quite an experienced company with extensive experience with a variety of locations, with a large team of colleagues, specialists, engineers, architects, designers. So in addition to what you can get in real estate, you can also choose the design and finishes of these apartments. For instance, in some cases, even reconfigurations are possible according to the client's wishes. And we also provide after-sales services with guaranteed profitability. So I would like to say that we can offer a full range of services in addition to assistance with obtaining residency permits related to the acquisition of these properties, starting from the consultation on the Golden Visa and ending with sales services and drafting of lease agreements, choosing payment systems, making payments for properties, and so on. We tailor our approach as individually as possible to the client's situation.
Therefore, for our viewers and listeners, I want to point out that all our contacts are located under this video. If you want to receive an individual consultation by phone or via Zoom at the convenient time, directly from the developer before making a decision. And now, let's once again emphasize the advantages of Greece. And the visa itself, as you can see on the screen, as I already mentioned, it's visa-free travel to Europe. You can travel, open accounts, and stay in Europe within the Schengen area without visas. That is, visas are issued immediately after purchase for 5 years. And here I want to clarify the following question right away. For how many family members is the visa issued? Who can participate?
Yes, that's an excellent question, because this is also one of the biggest advantages of obtaining a visa in Greece. It covers 3 tiers of relatives, up to 10 people. So not only you, but also up to 10 members, family members, which can include parents, spouses, and children from any marriages up to 21 years old. But in some cases, depending on the client's situation, we sometimes recommend, for example, that perhaps their children be the main buyers, not to mention the climate. I have been living here for several years. Of course, the climate here is amazing.
As the demand for residence permit programs grows, accordingly, this also contributes to the growth of real estate. That is, you can at any moment, if for some reason your need for a residence permit disappears, you can at any moment sell your property and you will also make a profit from it. Firstly, if you invest during the construction stages, it's the capitalization of your investments plus rental income. And accordingly, during the time you own it, it appreciates significantly. As you can see on the slide, over 3 years, real estate has increased in value by 42%. So it's not just about preserving, but also multiplying your finances. The number of tourists and expats in Greece is constantly increasing. And by the way, regarding taxation, since I deal with different countries, Greece is one of the most tax-friendly and cost-effective countries in Europe, not only when purchasing real estate, but also in maintaining it. Because when you own real estate, it requires some payments to cover current expenses. Therefore, all these current taxes and payments compared to other countries are lower and absolutely comfortable.
Absolutely right. And I would also like to add that for each property that we offer to clients, we also have calculations of monthly profitability. That is how much a person will receive from renting out, for example, this property through us or without us. This also greatly helps in planning financial expenses.
Yes, and moreover, there are no additional fees upon sale as in other countries. So, bonus, that's why we will also touch on options for 400 and 800. This is more relevant for those who are considering not only investment, but also relocation and living in a certain region. And here, please explain a little to us, Alexandra, what is the difference?
The program for 250,000, yes, you need to consider this aspect. It includes properties that have been converted from commercial or historical real estate into residential. And we build such properties, meaning the buyer who acquires this housing does not need to rebuild it anymore. It has already been rebuilt. We specifically develop projects for the Golden Visa at 250,000. So essentially you are buying one primary real estate and you don't need to worry about anything in this case. But you mean that you can't just go and buy any apartment for 250. It has to be a property that has been transformed. When it was commercial, it became residential. And we build such properties because we have those capabilities. Regarding the programs for 800 and 400,000, 800 meaning if you wanted to buy any apartment in central areas like Athens, Thessaloniki, islands such as Mykonos, Santorini, where the population is more than 3,100. We need one unit, meaning it should be one. Apartment with an area of no less than 120 square meters. This is central. Similarly, it should be the same type of property, meaning one unit with an area of 120 square meters for 400,000. But these are more remote regions. They are not as central. And we have such properties as well, of course. The most popular program is for 250. But if you decide to purchase something, say, not in Athens, then this property might cost 400,000. In that case, these are not convertible properties. They are regular apartments.
So it all depends on your goal. If you want to acquire reliable real estate so that you don't encounter problems later when applying for a golden visa. And in general, when registering property ownership, you should contact leading major developers who have all the necessary permits and all the documentation is in order. Please, we will consult you. All our contact information is below this video. Feel free to reach out and you will receive all detailed information from the developer. Once again, we come to the point of highlighting the advantages of Greece's golden visa. But here I would like to focus on the process of obtaining it. Whether you arrive in person or purchase property online, what comes next and how long does the process take?
Physical presence is required from the applicant only once for submitting biometric data. We need to submit fingerprints and take photographs, and that's it. After that, you don't need to visit Greece for 5 years and can return after 5 years for renewal and obtain it again. The same applies to family members. There are 2 points here. That is, you can not be present at all, come only to submit biometric data, or if you want to start right away, settling in Greece right after submitting the initial documents, you can stay here and wait for the residence permit. In terms of timing, we can start the document submission process only after the final payment. That is, at the initial stage, we require a deposit from the client to reserve certain apartments. Then, when all payments, the final payments are received from the applicant, we apply for the residence permit, submit biometric data, and the procedure takes about 4 to 6 months. But I would realistically aim for 6 months. After that, you receive a 5-year residence permit and can renew it accordingly after 5 years. And the same applies to family members who apply with you. Well, yes, those are probably the main points. There is also the possibility of obtaining citizenship after 7 years. But in this case, if it's about the residence permit, you don't necessarily have to be here. You can stay, you cannot stay, but if your goal is to obtain citizenship, you must reside in Greece for at least 180 days each year. This needs to be taken into account. And to obtain Greek citizenship, you need to pass an exam on the Greek language language and Greek history. Also, to renew the 5-year residence permit, you must have real estate. Let's say you could sell the initial property you applied with during these 5 years, but you must also purchase a similar property at the same cost, or one that qualifies for the Golden Visa program, meaning not less than 250,000.
So if you have any questions regarding the procedure for obtaining benefits and so on, leave your details under this video. We will contact you and provide detailed consultation. And of course, depending on the number of family members, we will provide you with an individual estimate, and you will know what you have. In addition to real estate and taxes associated with it, what other costs are there for legal processing? We discuss all of this individually. And now let's get acquainted with your projects. There will be 4 in the presentation now, each for 250, which are suitable. Let's start with the first one. Just brief information about what this object is and where it is located.
Here we have loft, which are 2-story apartments. Again, in all our apartments, we maintain a minimalist design, but we mean minimalist design in terms of finishes. That is the bathroom, plumbing, kitchen, floors, double layer, windows, soundproof, the climate control system. Yes, the apartments are located in an area near the main port of Athens, where ferries depart to the beautiful Greek islands. Santorini, Mykonos, basically all of them, but it's a very developed area. You can even see when you arrive there that there are constantly construction and infrastructure expansion are ongoing. For investors, this area could also be interesting because it has the highest annual yield growth. For example, last year, this area in Athens had the highest 23% yield growth, which is very significant. No other area in Athens or its suburbs has such figures. There are hubs of major companies besides the port. There are very beautiful promenades and marinas. In general, I really love this area. It combines the spirit of a Greek fishing village with a modern city.
A pleasant balance. By the way, yes, and here in terms of significance, it will be completed in 2026 next year. But can you get a residence permit, but just only for a completed property or for construction as well? This is an important point.
You can, because all the legal documents are, of course, in order. And most importantly, Mr. Aynet, the Immigration Service needs to verify that you have invested this amount and that the property complies, well, with the requirements, yes, of this Golden Visa. That is, it was convertible.
For someone who needs ready properties, there are such options too. But properties under construction will bring even greater profit in the end.
But I also want to note that we are a very reliable partner. We have been in the Greek market for over 10 years and have a credit rating of AA. We have numerous awards, European ones, and all processes here are regulated by EU standards, which reduces your risks. I would describe this location as a suburb of Athens. There is a multi-kilometer beach with pine trees, a sandy coastline, a port that is not as active as Piraeus, meaning it's more of a suburb of Athens. It's a city, but not as big as Athens. Yes, let's say. So if someone is planning to live there and wants a calm, quiet life close to the sea, then this option would be just right. We have available apartments with 1 or 2 bedrooms there. All our properties are equipped with a smart home system and an energy saving system, finishing and so on. This applies to all the properties we build. And also, for example, if we talk about renting this property, since it is located near the airport and the port, it would be interesting to travelers who go to the Greek islands. And therefore, from an investment perspective, this would also be interesting, a profitable investment.
The third op.
A residential complex in the center of Athens. This is an area where the municipality is currently investing a lot of money and expanding the infrastructure. I would recommend this property as a very good investment with apartments, which includes a sauna, a fitness. There's a rooftop garden with a view of the city, a barbecue area, meaning a fully equipped complex designed for an active lifestyle.
And the last 4th property that we offer you.
It is also located in the Piraeus area, which, let me remind you again, is the area that had the highest yield growth in Athens last year. Also, here we have apartments with a delivery date in 2025, and I believe we have 1 or 2 apartments left. So if someone is interested, they should hurry because the delivery is already scheduled for this summer. Also, the apartments are fully equipped. Yeah, all our apartments have smart home features and are located essentially close to well-developed infrastructure centers.
Great. Thank you very much, Alexandra. If you want to get a consultation, contact information is below this video and we will send you a presentation.